What is up, guys? Rick Kakis here. Thank you so much for joining me, and today we are going to be showcasing the brand new Nemesis exotic sniper rifle within the Division 2. Now, although this weapon was technically added with the World Tier 5 update, the process of getting it was time-gated, and only recently it's been made actually available to get and utilize. And so, let's get started by explaining how exactly to acquire this weapon. Well, everything starts here with Tidal Basin, the brand new stronghold introduced in World Tier 5. Well, you're going to have to beat Tidal Basin to get to World Tier 5, and then you're going to find that a lot of the map is invaded. You have to do a bunch of missions to unlock a stronghold, then do the invaded stronghold to unlock the invaded Tidal Basin stronghold, even though it was technically already invaded because it's Black Tusk. Anyways, once you do the invaded Tidal Basin stronghold, you're going to be able to begin this exotic quest. So during the stronghold, you're going to go into this building and activate a laptop. Simply head upstairs within that same building, and then you're going to see a bunch of bunkers. On one of them, there is a Black Tusk keycard. Acquire this keycard and then just do the rest of the stronghold. Near the very end, when you make your way onto one of the massive hovercrafts, as you can see here, you're going to clear out kind of the first initial room of enemies, and then there's going to be an upper room at the very top, and to the left, there is a door that you can open with this keycard. Now, in there is going to be a very special weapon chest that looks totally normal, and it awards a kind of normal looking high-end sniper rifle. This is actually the key to starting this exotic quest. If you read the description, it says, "I am she whom none can escape. Within me lies the key to my true name." Within me means you gotta dismantle this weapon. Now, you can actually keep it and use it, but again, to start the quest, you need to dismantle it, and if you do, as you can see, you're gonna get the first piece of several more required to get this weapon. Now, you're going to need 4 exotic pieces in total, and you gain the other 3 from doing invaded strongholds. So unfortunately, if you haven't been making progress up to this point, you will have to simply wait until weekly resets when a different part of the map gets invaded, then do the 3 missions to unlock the invaded stronghold, and when you kill the final boss of that stronghold, as you can see, they will drop an exotic part for this weapon. Now, it should be noted that there actually are a few ways to bypass this time constraint. For example, if you go into someone who's just going into the world tiers, well, all of their different world tiers are going to be invaded. You can join someone in World Tier 1, do that invaded stronghold, and you should still get these exotic parts. So that's a way to speed up the process. In any event, once you acquire all 4 pieces of this weapon, the marksman's rifle scope, stock, bolt, and barrel, then you have to do one more thing. You have to do an invaded Grand Washington Hotel mission. So even if it's not specifically being invaded that week, you can toggle the invasion option so you can turn invaded mission on, do it, and the first boss you encounter pretty soon after starting this mission, by the way, you can just do all this stuff on normal difficulty, then you kill that guy Puck, and he's going to specifically drop the blueprint. Once you get the blueprint, head back to the White House and actually craft your Nemesis. Alright, so that's how you get this weapon. Now let's talk about how it performs in-game. So, as usual with exotics in the Division 2, its perks are very unique. Firstly, we have Counter Sniper. Shots fired deal 0 to 100% weapon damage based on how long the trigger is held before releasing. The time to reach max weapon damage is reduced whenever a shot does not kill the enemy it hits. Moving on from there, we have the perk Nemesis. Aiming at the enemy marks them as your nemesis for 15 seconds, letting you see them through walls. Your shots gain 5% increased damage to your nemesis for each second they are marked to a max of 50%. And lastly, we have the holstered perk Preparation. While holstered, gain plus 25% headshot damage when scoped with your current weapon. So, when you're utilizing this weapon, it behaves pretty differently than your traditional Division 2 sniper. Mainly, the fact that you have to actually aim down sights and then hold the trigger, and then when you want it to shoot, you release the trigger. And doing so is going to result in cataclysmically high damage. That's one of the first things you're going to notice about this weapon. Mine rolled with over 300,000 damage per shot. That's insane. But of course, if you just aim down sights and shoot right away, you're going to do like 20,000 damage, which is absolutely abysmal. You do have to hold that trigger, and you can actually see around the scope on the right and left side, the circle will start to fill, and when the circle is completely gold, then you can release your shot. Now here's the thing, actually, and this is really important. If you hold down the trigger and the circle fills up, you can't hold down indefinitely. It's going to start to blink, and then it's going to automatically shoot whether you wanted it or not. And that can be very frustrating. Of course, this is a cover-based shooter. Enemies are going to appear behind cover, poke their head out, dive behind cover, and sometimes you aim down sights, you start charging, the enemy has his head totally exposed, and then he decides to go behind cover and stay there while you just completely waste your shot. So that can definitely be frustrating. Also, there's no way to charge your shot before aiming down sights. So you will have to expose yourself. You will be getting shot at while you're charging your max damage shot. Now, that's the annoying part. The great part, the benefits of doing this, is the colossal damage. As you can see, easily up in the 900,000s of damage. You can kill a purple bar, sometimes a gold bar, with a single shot. And I'm playing survivalist here. If I was playing sharpshooter and gain bonus headshot damage, I mean, it would be even greater than it is right now. And again, without that bonus, still able to one-shot headshot kill purple bars on challenging difficulty. However, when enemies push you, this is pretty much the last weapon you want to have. Desperately aiming down sights, charging it. Like, obviously, you're going to want to switch when you can, but yeah, this weapon is excellent if you can keep enemies at an arm's reach. You want to allow yourself to have the time to charge this weapon to perfectly line up some headshots, and if you do start hitting those headshots, it again does massive, massive damage. And you do have the features of the Nemesis perk, allowing you to do more and more and more damage and charge faster and faster against singleton targets. So against bosses, against enemies with armor like the massive chain gun wielding guys, it's actually very good against those guys. So having someone in your fire team with this weapon is actually not a bad idea. In fact, this compared to the Pestilence, like, it's not even close. This is one of the better exotics in the Division 2, absolutely, if you do want to play that long-range game. But we do have one more factor, and that is the holstered perk. And unfortunately, this is one of the worst features of this weapon, and here's why. It actually specifically says when scoped with your current weapon. It doesn't just give you a 25% headshot damage increase. I absolutely wish it did. But as you can see, when using this AKM right here, I'm able to do like 47,000, have the Nemesis on, still 47,000. So after switching, I gain no increase in headshot damage. When scoped actually literally means when looking through a scope. So if I switch to this 8x sight, aim down sights with no Nemesis, I get a certain amount of damage, and then I put the Nemesis on, aim down sights, and you can clearly see that damage increases. So that's the benefit. Now the problem here is that, I mean, if you're already liking a certain sniper rifle, if you have a god tier M700 or some sniper you're using, you might be thinking, oh, this is fantastic. My high-end sniper will just get 25% more headshot damage. And that's absolutely true. But if you're using a weapon that requires a scope, and if basically every single enemy in the Division 2, especially in PvE, is programmed to do nothing but flank you every chance they get, they are gonna run up on you. And having two different sniper rifles or two different scoped weapons, it doesn't necessarily have to be a sniper rifle to gain this bonus, but still the fact that you have a scoped weapon can be very, very challenging to take down enemies charging at you. So you're actually going to have to rely on your sidearm. Now, if you have a really fantastic sidearm, maybe you can justify this, but yeah, if you're running a sniper normally, you definitely want your other weapon to be an SMG, an assault rifle, an LMG, something to handle medium to close range combat. Using a scoped weapon and the Nemesis is really putting you all into a certain playstyle. Now, the one exception for this is if you're in a very large group. If you're running with a full 4-man squad, or potentially even for the raid, and you are the designated long-range guy, that's your job, and you have other people on your team that are going to cover when enemies try to flank you, then this could be a very viable strategy. but solo, it's a lot of risk doing that. In any event, guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, found this interesting, found this informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Division 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. And if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.